morning, good afternoon, and good night. This is Marv Fikes Jr. This has become the podcast. How do you become anything? You dream, you declare, you commit. And success is your next breath. It's been a minute. Took a little hiatus. I wanted to reflect. Wanted to think about my approach. Wanted to listen to some of what I've been doing and think about ways in which I can get better. And also was doing some internal inventory. Had some situations take place, or had some moments, some experiences, some happenstances that took place, and so I want to share them with you, in hopes that what I went through, what I was going through, how I dealt with it, will hopefully allow you to relate, allow you to connect, but at the same time, hopefully help you out in some way. So 2018 and the latter part of 2017 has been the era of no. I've heard no a lot. Now, I've had some experiences where people have said yes, and I've gotten some good feedback and all of that stuff, but I felt like I've been hearing no a lot. And it's those things where like I keep getting these opportunities, and people come out of the blue. You know, people seek me out, and they want my services because they heard good things from some other people, and we go through the process of, you know, negotiating or interviewing and conversating or whatever the case may be. You know, just seeing if, you know, we'll be a good fit for one another. And at the end of it, either I don't get a call back, or people say, you know what, we're going to go a different direction. And, you know, a couple of those situations happen, and or the outcome is not ideal. That happens a couple times, and you're able to just kind of pad and pivot or regroup and recover and just kind of keep it moving. But when it keeps happening, it does get to you. No matter how confident you are, no matter how confident I am, it starts to get to me. So I have this list of these moments that have been taking place, and so I tell you kind of like what I've been experiencing, right? So there's this thing called Leadership. It's a U of M. Leadership is I think, nationwide brand. It's a facilitator. It's a facilitation workshop. People teaching how to facilitate, and teaching people how to lead through facilitation. And really, really awesome program. It's a very intense, I think, like 6 or 7 day experience. And I interviewed twice for this thing and got denied both times. I think the first time I was a little cocky, a little too confident. The second time I cooled out a little bit, made sure that I was a little more humble, whatever. And I still got rejected. I have no clue why, right? The same people interviewed me 2 times in a row, and I got rejected. Then there's another leadership workshop that I want to get involved with. I forget the name of this one. They told me no. Marco's Pizza called. They wanted me to do some diversity training. First of all, they wanted me to do some diversity training. They said no on the diversity training. Then they called back and said they had a position within the organization that could be that was involving diversity. You know, having a diversity person or a diversity consultant in the company. They said no. Had a meeting with there's a group of libraries in the Toledo, in Toledo. I forget again. There was it had a name. It's like the something Toledo County Library branch, right? So I would have been doing some diversity work with them, and they said no. I've put in multiple applications into different places and haven't heard anything back. And with that, I'm kind of battling this. I'm in this fight or this battle with having a purpose, but also having got my master's degree and feeling as though I should honor that degree and do work that would justify the degree, right? Everybody's in my family has sacrificed on some level for me to go to school and get my master's. And so I feel bad not working, or not feel bad not utilizing that degree. So I feel like I should utilize that degree. So it's on one end of the spectrum, if I'm not getting any calls back from the applications that I've submitted, it's cool, because I'm like, well, that's not my purpose anyway. You know what I'm saying? This degree that I have was just, it taught me some things. It taught me some things about myself. It helped me improve in some different ways, but it's not necessarily what I was built to do anyway. But on the flip side of things, when you apply for jobs, you want to get calls back. You want to get an opportunity to interview. You at least want to say no to a job offer, right? But I've not gotten any. I've had some speaking engagements. One in particular, when I was done, the feedback was, you're too confident. You're too confident, right? I'm speaking to high school kids. I'm telling them about mental health and telling them that you might be able to reduce some of the mental health if you can engage in your purpose. If you can figure out what your genius level talent is, if you can make yourself aware of what your purpose is, what your passion is, you might be able to reduce some of the effects of mental health, and you might be able to wake up in a better state and have a better sense of value and value yourself more and whatnot. And working to be confident in hopes that these kids will see it and exemplify it and see that it's okay to be confident, right? And then to have a teacher say, you're too confident. And again, when you get the critique from the kids, and the kids come up and they shake your hand and they give you a fist bump or something like that, or they connect with you and say, you know what, that made sense to me, or you get a couple of followers because you touched somebody that day, and then they get some parent or some teacher to say you're too confident. It shouldn't bother me, but again, considering some of what I've been experiencing, it has been. I've been turned down for several speaking opportunities. People call me and I send them, proposals. I send them footage. I send them the podcast, whatever. And a lot of people have been saying, no, we're good. We're okay. And then the last thing is, I sat through an intervention with 8 college students, and they were telling me to my face how I was, creating a toxic environment. And I don't know if you've ever had somebody do that to you, but having 8 people tell you why you're no good for about a strong 45 minutes, it can get to you. It can get to you. And I started to defend myself, and I told them that I wouldn't. And one of the girls who was kind of coming after me in this moment, she said, you said you wouldn't defend yourself. You said you wouldn't say anything. And so I had to honor that. And so for the first 15 minutes, I had some rebuttals, you know what I'm saying? And then for the rest of the time, I didn't. I decided to just chill out and not say anything. And that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. That was kind of devastating, because I was working very hard to sustain my confidence, because obviously, I've heard a lot of no's since probably December, right? And some things have went right, but I felt like I've had more things not go right than things that have gone right. And every day working to maintain my confidence, working every day to stay in a positive place, working every day to believe that everything is happening for my benefit, everything is happening for me, everything is conspiring to assist and serve me. But sometimes enough things can happen that can make you, flip the script a little bit, or compromise your belief system. And so for the first time in a long time, I experienced this thing called paralysis by analysis. And that's when you are so caught up in analyzing everything that you basically are paralyzed. You can't really move, right? And so as I'm thinking about, the intervention, right? And as I'm thinking about the jobs and the critiques of late, as I'm thinking about the opportunities that haven't developed, I couldn't move. I couldn't make any decisions. I couldn't work out. I couldn't giddy up and get after it because I was steady thinking about, why is this stuff happening to me? I'm putting in the work. I'm working to get better every day. My message is dope. I know my message is dope. Why isn't things popping off? Like, what's going on? How come I'm having all these awesome conversations that lead to nowhere? How come I'm getting all these awesome opportunities and people are searching me out, seeking me out, and it's not developing into anything? What's the problem? And it's forcing me to dig deep into my bag of tricks and keep myself on a higher vibration. Make sure that I'm in flight. Understanding that through clarity, you discover purpose, and through purpose, you need, as you get that purpose, you need a perspective to help you deal with the purpose-driven life. And that perspective is that everything is working for you, no matter how devastating, disappointing things are. Once you figure out what your purpose is, everything is working for you. So all these no's are working for you. The tough part is how. How is it working for me? What is it teaching me? Are the no's telling me that I should improve in some area of my life? Are the no's there to in something or get involved in something that I'm not supposed to be doing? You know what I'm saying? Like if I get a job, does that then take up the space that should be reserved for the work I need, or the space I need to finish my book? Or if I get a job and I get an opportunity to have a speaking opportunity, and that speaking opportunity leads to more speaking opportunities. But if I have a job, then maybe I have to compromise the speaking opportunity. You see what I'm saying? Maybe there's a practice element. Maybe there's a preparation element that I get into a zone, I lock in, and now I'm constantly working on my craft. I'm getting better. And so if I have a job, I can't do it. You see what I'm saying? But then on the flip side of things, like do I need that job to kind of bridge, one situation to the next? You know what I'm saying? I need some transition money. As I transition into my purpose and maybe do my purpose full time, I still need to sustain my life and the bills and all that other stuff. So it's just things you start thinking about. It's just that's the paralysis by analysis. And there's a whole bunch of directions that my mind will go as I start thinking about, what is life trying to teach me right now? And that's where I'm at. I'm just trying to figure out, why is this happening? You know what I'm saying? Why is this happening to me? And obviously it's not in a victim way, but more so, I'm just looking for the reasons. I'm looking for the lessons. And so some of the things that I've come across, and I haven't come across anything definite yet, but I realized that in this time, I'm working on my resilience. At the very least, I'm working on my resilience, and I'm working on that idea that as soon as something happens, it's not about what is happening, but why is it happening? And working to go into resilient mode or resiliency mode immediately, and try to figure out, what am I going through? Why am I going through this? So is it a matter of maintaining my confidence? Am I working on keeping a positive attitude? Perhaps I'm learning more about leaning on my faith. Maybe now I'm going into a different level of faith development, and where I thought I was strong, there were some situations that I was given, right, or some situations that I experienced that have now made me think that have challenged my faith. And so sometimes the ways in which we think our faith needs to be challenged are much different than how they actually need to be challenged. You see what I'm saying? You may think you need to go through something devastating, and it's not it. It could be just a collection of instances, smaller ones, that can kind of throw you off the rails or throw you off beat. And through those small instances, you have to now kind of figure some things out. Because I could have everything going well, have one devastating thing happen, and that might be easier to deal with than having a bunch of smaller things not go well, right? And then you got to deal with a bunch of moments that just haven't worked out well. So now my faith is being challenged. I'm learning now to lean on my purpose. Learning to lean on my purpose a little bit more. Learn to understand, working on going back to all the things that I've written, all the things that I've read, and kind of reintroducing myself to this purpose-driven life, and just kind of reconfirming that I'm on the right path. I'm doing what I was built to do. And sometimes when you're doing what you're built to do, you are tested. And a lot of those tests are strengthening you within your purpose. So you can't get emotional. I can't get emotional. I have to stay focused and I have to remember what this whole thing is about. I'm also learning I'm relearning, I guess, how to trust the process. How to trust the process and find the beauty in every day. Find that seed of beauty in every day and everything and everybody. I'm relearning how to figure out what I should focus on. Sometimes we get distractions, not to test our ability to focus. Sometimes you might get some things thrown at you here and there, and they're simply there to just hopefully focus you to recenter yourself and get back to the action, especially if you know better, what you should focus on. And sometimes you'll get hit with something or a bunch of different things to help you understand where your attention needs to be placed. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you know better, sometimes you get hit with adversity just to snap you back into shape. Because I guess the higher God or the higher divinity or the universe, it knows that if you get hit a certain way, you'll respond a certain way. And so sometimes getting hit with a bunch of different things helps you to get focused. Now, somebody else, they might not get hit like that because they might not understand the power of focus and clarity and whatnot. But when you know better, that's sometimes how the universe works. And simply at the end of the day, the other thing that I'm relearning is just really and simply just searching for the answers. It just simply comes down to searching for the answers, and it's doing all this searching work. I might come across something that I didn't know, or I might relearn some things, But those are the ways in which that's me working on my being resilient. It's working, taking all these moments that have been disappointing, that have not gone my way, and kind of reflecting back, going back to some fundamentals, and relearning some things, reteaching myself some things, reestablishing some things, bringing up some things to the forefront in hopes that these virtues will be reimagined, rethought, reconnected to, if you will, so that I can, figure it out. And at the end of the day, giddy up. And so, that's also another, what this process is also, can also be connected to is internal inventory. And internal inventory simply, looking at what life is doing, and look at what life is doing, all the situations and whatnot, and asking yourself, how do I feel about this stuff? How do I feel about what I'm going through? How is it impacting me? How am I impacting these situations? How am I impacting the people in these situations? How am I impacting this particular individual? How is this particular individual impacting me? Just kind of constantly going back and forth between, how am I impacting the moment? How is the moment impacting me? And figuring out, is this, did I hear something that I need to really respond to? Or You know, am I letting something bother me that really shouldn't? You know, am I allowing something to get me emotional that really I don't even care about? I've let somebody else convince me that I care about something that I don't really care about, and so I'm letting it bother me. Or have I grown into a place in my life where I care about those things. I care about these things. So now I've discovered in all my moments that there are some things that I do care about. Now that I know that I care about these things, okay, now I have to figure out, I have to learn more, I have to explore it. What is this new concern that I have that I didn't have last week? I have a new concern, and it's genuine, it's real. And I now care about these things, you know. So just keep going back and forth, understanding, working to understand, you know, kind of where you are, you know, and once you understand where you are, you can make sense of the land. You can make sense. So, but the thing is, you can't take too much time. You can't take too much time, you know, kind of in your internal inventory, or you can't be so deep into it that you can't move, that you can't think. So I've spent a little bit of time unable to exercise, you know, getting a little bit in here and there, but not as much as I normally do. Couldn't do a podcast, had nothing to write, had nothing to share. And that's when it got bad. I said, man, I better figure it out. I better figure this out quick. I better giddy up. I better do a podcast. And God is awesome because he put somebody in my life that, he's been putting people in my life as of late that have been kind of reaffirming me, you know. And then also I had a really, really awesome conversation with somebody, and I was able to share. And as I'm sharing with this person, I was also sharing with myself. I was also reteaching myself. I was also, you know, getting my psyche together, getting my confidence together, you know. And so it's funny how sometimes when we are down in the dumps, we'll be presented with an opportunity to help someone else, and through that help, we're actually helping ourselves. By giving, we're actually giving to ourselves. They say you wanna get something in life, give. So what I wanted in life is I wanted to get my confidence back. I wanted to get my mojo back. Well, I had to give that mojo and that confidence to somebody else. And in return, I was able to give back some of my confidence, you know. So that's it, man. And I just wanted to just share that with you. You know, sometimes we in life, we'll be rocking and rolling, and then we'll get hit real hard. We'll get hit real hard by a series of things. And, you know, you got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. You got to figure it out. And it hurts. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it can really throw you off track. Some things can get to you, even if you claim to be indelible or invincible. It can get to you, and you're forced to kind of go into a zone where you have to kind of put yourself on autopilot, and so that you can walk through life and take care of responsibilities, but you're not really present because you're still dealing with something that took place a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, and you're still being productive because you're saying, all right, I'm gonna put myself on autopilot because I gotta figure this. I gotta figure out what was the benefit of what I went through. And for some people, that's a month. Sometimes it's a season. Sometimes it's a year. Sometimes it's a couple of years. You know, you don't be on autopilot for that long, but you know, sometimes it happens, right? Especially if you're not getting the help you need, then you gotta, you know, help yourself, and you gotta figure some things out. And then once you figure those things out, then you can kind of reintroduce yourself to the world, re-enter the world, and re-enter yourself into to being present. And hopefully, when you've done that, you have found a way to appreciate the goodness that the goodness of life, and you found a way to find the seed of goodness in a bunch of unfortunate situations, and now you're ready to kind of get after it again. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm back at it. I'm not all the way back, but I'm definitely back at it. And it's funny, sometimes when we don't have the life or the vibration to do certain things. If we just do it automatically, well, not automatically, but very quickly, you start to snap back into the thick of things. You know what I'm saying? Or you get back at it. So that's it, man. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna finish this one off. But just let you know that, you know, we go through things and we gotta analyze it. We gotta figure it out, and we gotta take some time for ourselves to figure some things out. It might require us to be on autopilot, but once we're in autopilot, you know, you need to search hard, figure it out, and then once you are, you know, kind of 70% there, then re-enter the world. You don't have to re-enter the world back at 100%. You know, re-enter the world at 70% and just kind of build your energy level and your confidence and your vibration. Build it from there. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to giddy up. You can't be, you know, in your feelings, and you can't be an internal inventory for too long, because an opportunity might pass you by. So here we go. Greatness lives on the edge of death. I am not afraid to die. I will fight for my dreams. I will celebrate my dreams, and I will die for my dreams. Thoughts are things, and everything starts off as a thought first and springs from a place of mindfulness and clarity. My name is Mar Fox Jr. I'm back at it, and it's okay to take a hiatus to figure some things out. It's cool. Just put yourself on autopilot, and then, you know, dig deep inside, and then once you're almost there, back to your normal self, re-enter the world, and give everyone your genius. You know, go back to being who you were built to be. All right, y'all take care. Done.